Hey everyone, it's Beto Paredes again here in our media center for Marketplace Masters. I have a huge privilege here today. For those of you that ever had incredible training, come to your dealership and make a big difference for the way your dealership has been able to impact your customer base, well, I can tell you right now, the gentleman I have here today not only has the experience, but is also known for being the mentor of mentors in this space. He's been around quite some time, doing an incredible job for dealerships. Today I am here with Stuker Training, and I've got Tom Stuker on the phone with us here. He is the founder and president of the company, and I'm very excited about what we're going to be able to share with you here today. Tom, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
That's fantastic. I'm so appreciative that you took the time to jump on here, and we're very excited about you coming to our show. I'd love to give you the floor for a minute and talk about Stuker Training. What is it that you guys offer to dealerships?
Well, our basis started off with telephone training, but we've literally moved into management processes, a lot of management training as well, because, see, the thing is, everything starts at the top. If a dealership succeeds, I got to give most of the credit to the management staff, because salespeople will do what they're hired, trained, managed, and held accountable to do. So we spend an awful lot of time with the management as we're doing in-house training, just like we do with the salespeople. But we started off basically training phone skills because dealerships dramatically needed it, and so I just filled the gap. And the more I trained, I started off with 5 or 6 pages that are all stapled together, and now we have a 330-page manual that if anybody just never was in the car business and just adapted that manual, they'll learn how to sell 20 units a month on less than 10 quality conversations a day. And that's the product we're really proud of.
Well, and that's a challenge a lot of times for dealerships because they rely so much on things that are outside of the phone for a lot of the methods they have to bring in customers. That's an incredible thing. I was even talking to you a little bit earlier, and you'd mentioned that nobody knows phone sales like Stuker. You've been doing this for 37 years, and again, there's a lot of people out there, other known brands of other phone sales professionals that are actually used to be trained by you. Tell me a little bit about the history.
Well, I mean, I started in 1980. I was in the car business as a salesman, as a sales manager, then a general sales manager. And then I found that salespeople really needed help as far as the phone. And the more I taught, the more I learned, because when I went in dealerships, I first started off by teaching salespeople how to work those old invoice books. This is before the computers and everything. I showed them how to work their owner base and generate a lot more repeat referral business than they could ever imagine through what we call our soft sell, smart sell techniques. See, it's not about hard sell today. It's about hard work. And that's why the 2 things I look for when we hire salespeople with dealerships is a work ethic and manageability. But we started off on phone training, and as we got into it, we found out that salespeople were really struggling on phone ups. So I studied phone ups for about a year or 2. I would literally tape about 5,000 phone calls over a 2-year period and play them back and forth and what works and what doesn't work. And that's where we came up with techniques that are probably the most copied techniques in the business today.
I would say so. Obviously, if there is an opportunity for an individual dealership that's listening right now to jump on to stukertraining.com, you're going to learn a little bit along with this. I spent a little bit of time there myself, and you've got a number of different services that are offered to dealerships, what I think is an incredible thing. Tell me, from your perspective, Tom, what do you think the importance is of actually having an in-house visit? How important is it to have training that actually happens right there in the dealership in person?
It's the ultimate. We have several different phases. We work with our customers regardless of the size, but it depends on the dealership's budget. Some people are more serious about addressing the problems than others. Some people think you could just come in there for a couple of days and the bad habits that were there for 26 years all of a sudden go away. It doesn't work that way. I mean, we start off with something as simple as our 330-page workbook, and maybe some people, I got salespeople that call up, order the manual, and they do tremendously well by just adapting the things. But the next thing is getting them on online training, but that's an exposure to the training. The ultimate thing is to get into the dealership, teach the techniques, role play the techniques, demonstrate the techniques, and then sit side by side with them until they master the technique themselves and can be completely independent from floor traffic. See, the difference between our company and a lot of others is our whole theme is a proactive theme, not a reactive thing. We teach them how to react to the floor ups, to the internet leads, to the phone inquiries. But our main focus is to be proactive, to help a dealership turn their CRM into an ATM, to help every salesperson learn how to sell 20 units a month on less than 10 quality conversations a day. I guess in a nutshell, We help train salespeople to sell cars every day instead of waiting around for people to buy them.
I really like that approach. That forward-thinking approach a lot of times is missing from a lot of dealerships. And I can see why it would be so important to invite you guys to come on in-house. Now, besides the in-house training, which I think, again, as you stated, is vital, what other resources do you have available to dealerships?
We have a 5-day boot camp, and to get someone cloned where they really could be what I call 7 out of 10, and a 7 out of 10 is a person that never has to wait on floor traffic again. Just got a call from one of our students that went through the 5-day boot camp. This guy was an 8-car-a-month salesperson, but he had all the heart and just didn't have the training and skill set, so the dealership sent him to our boot camp. The guy's averaging 25, 26 a month, less than a year later.
That's amazing. So boot camps, I know there's some other digital resources that you guys have for them, but again, that in-house training is the most critical step in getting the identity of that dealership to really be able to start turning those sales. And you were mentioned, turning your CRM into an ATM. I think a lot of dealerships don't realize just how lucrative their current data that they have from past customer base and from what they're already doing may be to them. That you may already be in a situation, dealerships, where you're already developing enough of a track that once Tom comes in with his training staff, you can maximize on the CRM that you already have in-house. Would you find that to be the case, Tom?
You're absolutely right. When it comes to a dealer's database, it's either an investment or it's an expense. An investment means I've got $250,000 in the last 5 years, or for a lot of my accounts, I got $5 million wrapped up in data that I've collected over the last 5 years. If that's an investment, then you work your CRM like it's an ATM. You literally follow up with your customer base and network repeat referral business till it's coming out of your ears. If it's an expense, then you're doing what 90% or more of the dealerships are doing. They're writing off that advertising, and they're not considering their data as an investment. When the database is so valuable, it can be manipulated so many different ways to make dealers so much more money every day.
That's a genuine reason everyone here in the media center to take a hard look at how much work you have done over the last period of time. How much data do you have? Whatever size of dealership you may have, if it's been a few years, there's guaranteed to be hundreds of records, if not thousands. Tom can help you guys do something about monetizing that properly. As he said, which I really like, is turning your CRM into an ATM, which I think is a valuable statement if you really think that through a little bit. So Tom, let's say I'm a dealership and I love what you're talking about. I know you by reputation. We're listening here in our media center. I want to get a hold of you and I want to see what I can't do to get started with you. What is my first step?
First step is give us a call at 800-999-5277, and let's have a discussion as far as what your priorities are. To go in there and think you're going to fix all the problems in a couple of days of in-house, it's really not the answer. You can address the problem, but the way you solve problems is pick your priority. If phone inquiries is your number one problem, let's focus on that. Let's fix it. Let's get the skill set. Let's put the management process into place so we fix the problem, not address them. If your sales staff is doing less than 12 cars a month, then they got plenty of time on their hands. So let's teach them that when their CRM gives them a daily plan, let's give them the skill sets on what to say on this call and that call and that call on 20 different call situations. Let's give them the script so they can feel comfortable. I mean, 95% of all CRMs are grossly underutilized, and the other 5% are just underutilized. So it's time to start teaching people the skill set. And I'm not just talking about salespeople and managers. I'm talking about management skill sets. The average manager was a salesperson on Friday, became a manager on Monday, and didn't exactly go to the Wharton Business School over the weekend. So you got to spend time with the manager to help them manage people and processes, not just deals. I need my manager to be more than a traffic cop, but hold on, what do you got, hold on, what do you got? I need my manager to learn how to manage people and processes, not just deals.
Yeah, fully agree with that. And it is important, obviously, in the number of years you've been doing this, had to recognize that you can't just fix the front end of your dealership. You've really got to look at things thoroughly all the way through, and Tom's your guy. Really appreciate you coming on here, Tom. You're coming to our show here September 6th, 7th, and 8th in Dallas, Texas at the Hyatt Regency. Can you give our folks here just a little bit of information about what they might learn during your talk?
I have about 4 or 5 core presentations, but the one I want to bring to Dallas is how to build a winning sales team. I'll give them out-of-the-box techniques in hiring, training, recruiting that they've never heard before, that they're going to walk away saying, holy moly, that will help us reduce our turnover. That will let me hire people that are 15 to 20 car a month people consistently instead of bodies that turn over, sell me 6 to 10 cars and keep turning over. We will fix the turnover problem. I'll show you hiring techniques and recruiting techniques and how to build a winning sales team, not just through the recruitment and training process, but on a month-to-month basis. I will give you the skill set and the techniques to build a winning sales team that averages at least 15 to 20 cars a piece in any showroom.
Well, I love that, and that just makes our program so much richer. Everyone, you've got to come see Tom Stuker at our show in September 6th, 7th, and 8th. And, of course, don't hesitate. Get on the phone. Give these guys a call. Their website is stukertraining.com. You can learn more there, but, of course, get on the 800 number. I can tell, Tom, that for you, you're the kind of guy that would rather get on the phone and have a conversation with the dealership as the primary point of contact. So give Tom a call. Give his team a call. Come on down and see them at our show coming up here in September. And, Tom, I appreciate you spending all the time here with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. I really look forward to coming down in September.
Very good. Everyone, have a great rest of your day, and I appreciate you spending some time here in our media center.